I'll just show you guys how I use knock. I went over this last time, but this is a different loop, so I would show you how I would use it in this case. The first thing I hear is I want it to punch a little harder, so I got punch. That's why I put punch first. So it's finding the transients, and you can see the graphic is reacting to it. So I'll do a little bit of punch. Saturation, it's just harmonic saturation. So as you turn this up, the sound's getting more saturated. You have 3 different types. It's also gain matching. So as you turn it up, it's not getting louder. The perceived loudness is not going up. The volume's actually going down. So see here, it's the same volume. It's actually quieter when you turn it up. So a little bit of saturation goes a long way. I like that. I did a YouTube video showing how I use the plugin, and a lot of people were commenting about how it should be gain matched. I actually do have a gain match here, so if you want to see how that works, as gain match is on, as you turn up the clipper, it's not going to actually get any louder. It's actually going to get quieter. What sub does is it detects the kick drum. Anytime a kick drum hits, it adds a sub oscillator to it. So check it out. I'm going to increase the decay so you hear it. So it adds an 808. But the way I use it when making drums and sound designing is I'll turn the decay down. So it layers on top of the kick. Right now, we added punch, we added saturation, we added the hard saturation because this light is selected. We added a sub oscillator on top of the kick, which I have set to E. Check it. You can select the pitch of how you want it to hit, but I like E for this. Make it short, so it's just layered on top of the kick, easy. Air is top end, super clean and clear sounding top end. I like clean. This top end is a cheat code, y'all. It's very hard to find top end this good. Just the way that this is designed, it's really clean. And then the clipper. And then you can go back and adjust and tweak. I saw some people commenting, they're like, yo, I can use my transient shaper, I can use a saturator, I could use a sub generator, I could use operator, I could use air. You know, I get it, you can use all these things, but the reason why I made this plugin is because I wanted to create the best of the best, because these are all new algorithms that we created for this plugin, new DSP processing, and make it so it's an all-in-one. You can just go in with one plugin, one interface, and dial it in. That's why I did that, and really I made this for myself, because this is what I wanted. I was like, why can't someone just make one plugin that does all the that I do to drums? So that's what I did. It's one plugin and it does it all. I totally respect if you have individual plugins you like to use together to make that happen. This is the way that I would design it for myself. So I put this together for me or for anyone who likes the way that I process drums. And it's very efficient, CPU friendly, lightweight. I have it right now on pristine quality, which you don't even really need to do. And it's still hovering at like 10, 11, 12%. And pristine is 8x oversampling. So let's turn that off. It's just like an all-in-one quick tool that I developed to be able to do it all. From here, say I like the way that bass is knocking, I like the way the kick is knocking, but I want to cut some of those lows. Here you go. Dial it in. The way that I designed this filter, you can get it real precise because there's a lot of resolution to it. Sometimes with certain EQs, it's difficult to get it where it needs to be. You know what's funny? I developed this plugin for drums, but this air sounds really good on the master and on vocals. So that's a little cheat code. And then this low pass filter. Another approach. If you want it super clean, just leave it all the way up. Another thing I added, I told you guys about high quality, and then there's tone. If you look at the graphic, if I turn it to the right, the top end is boosted, the low end is cut, and the left, low end is boosted, top end is cut. The reason I use this is because a lot of times when working on drums, we can sometimes go overboard on the low end or the high end. Let me give you an example of this. I'm gonna go crazy with the bass right now. Have you guys ever done drums and sometimes it kind of ends up kind of like this? It's very bottom heavy. The bottom end sounds good, the top end just ain't there. Well, now you have a couple different options. You can turn up the top end. That works. Or if you don't want that high frequency, but you just want to rebalance it, check the tone. Watch this. Listen to that. So what we did was we did a tilt. We turned up the top end, turned down the low end. This is a feature that I would use sometimes in different EQs and things like that. It's just a little harder and a little less accessible. What I did was I took the use case that I use it in and just put it into this tone knob. So it's an easy way to balance the sound. So now let's do another example. Let's say it doesn't have much bass, but it has a lot of top end. Like it's slapping, top end sounds good, it just doesn't have the bass. So now we turn the tone knob the other way. Watch. There we go. Now the bass is hitting harder while that top end still maintains. So it's just a way to fine tune your sound. That's some of the use cases for Knock. It's an all-in-one drum tool, and the reason I made it was to just quickly dial in a tone for my drums. Now you guys have access. Any questions about it?